Well, I told the guys in the locker room that'll go in the book one day. Turn it over 24 times and win. And so and this may sound crazy, but those are the best wins. Sometimes the best wins are when you can't make a shot and can't throw it in the ocean and you still find a way. One time, years and years ago, coaching a team, we gave up 24 made threes, 16 made threes in the first half, and we still won the game. And I think when you can overcome some things like that, the character piece is the part you're most proud of, and those are the ones you remember the most. But I'm really, really pleased that we won. I have so much respect for Anthony and for the Dayton staff. I've gotten to know those guys being in the area here. I respect them as people, I respect them as coaches, and I respect their program a lot. I don't think of them as an Atlantic 10 team. I think of them as a Power 4 team. So we found a way to win a game against a big-time program and a big-time team at home, and that part I'm really pleased with. I thought the running game had its good moments and bad moments, but when we were able to kind of crack them in transition there late in the second half, I think that's why you do it. It's a collective effect. It's not always going to happen early, but I thought it had some signs that you could see it could be really good. We got a lot of work to do defensively. We have a lot of work to do on the glass. We have a lot of work to do with our half-court offense when we play against different kinds of defenses. They were switching everything tonight, and we got a little stagnant. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot more fun to learn when you're winning. But we better take it as serious as we get back into the tape and get back to work with the players as if we wouldn't have won the game, because we do have quite a bit to do. But pleased that we found a way to win in spite of not playing our best basketball.
Open up for questions, Chad.
You mentioned this a little bit. Last week. Is this the hard part about not pulling back on wanting your team to play fast? When you see as many kind of silly turnovers that they had tonight, a coach probably clearly wants to say, all right, maybe we should slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, you can't do that. If you want to be a great runner, and it's exactly why most teams only talk about running in recruiting. Well, everybody says they run in recruiting. I mean, everybody in recruiting says we're going to play fast, and then they talk about it in the summer in their practices and maybe a little bit into the fall. But when you get to it and it gets a little wacky out there, you want to kind of get back in control. And if we're ever going to be the kind of running team that I think we're going to be, we got to play through some stuff. Now, all these turnovers weren't because of our pace of play. Some of them were breaking the press. Some of them were footwork turnovers. Some of them were casual turnovers. But no, the other thing is, number one, nobody's going to work on getting better more than I am after I get out of this press conference. But number two, we won. So let's talk about winning too. Let's not just talk about everything we didn't do damn well. I mean, we just beat Dayton at home with a new team and a team that's trying to figure out how to get better. So I ain't going to let you guys make it negative. We might get negative in the film tomorrow a little bit, but this should be about the fact that we won first and foremost. We won the damn game. And that matters. By the way, the trait to find a way to win a game matters more than any detail or X and O or problem that happened during the game. We can bottle that trait up and keep it all year. We're going to be just fine. But, yeah, there's a lot to work on, and we're going to get to work on it tomorrow. But tonight, these guys need to enjoy winning. By the way, how great was Fifth Third tonight? When we made good plays and hustle plays, that place was on fire, and I'm glad our guys got to experience what it can be like in there.
Baba Miller didn't score till 9:06 remaining. What happened in the first 31 minutes, and then what happened once he took off, because he winds up plus 14 for you?
We won. That's what happened.
I heard that, yeah.
We won. I don't care who scores and when they score, and we got a team that's going to learn not to care about any of that either. But, hey, it wasn't his night offensively there for a while, but he kept playing. He had a great impact on the game, and he finally cracked and made some great plays.
Defensively, I know you said there's stuff to work on, but they really struggled from three tonight. How much of that was you guys doing game plan, running them off the line, keeping them kind of in check and not getting – didn't seem like they had many comfortable looks from three.
Yeah, I thought it was very important. And, again, scouting this time of year is very difficult because you don't have a lot to go off of. Dayton has a bunch of new players too. I mean, certainly, Javon Bennett, who's really improved. I mean, he's so much better off the dribble than I remember the last couple years. But they have him back. They have Letang back, obviously, who's a terrific big kid, and maybe a couple others. But most of their rotational players are new guys. So preparing for the game is difficult, just like it was probably difficult for them. What I will say, we saw they were really aggressive downhill, that they're really trying to put pressure on you on the rim, whether it's, Durkak, whether it's who we'd played against when he was at Merrimack, Bryce Hurd, let's see here, Keontae Jones was so aggressive off the bounce on tape. Simon, he'd played multiple positions, is aggressive off the bounce. Javon Bennett's become a player that does that. And then Deshaun Montgomery's crazy aggressive. So a big part of the scouting report was to contain the ball and then make sure that we tried to get to the guys that were shooters. And if it was a guy that maybe drives it a little better than he shoots it, make sure we do get a hand late. I thought there were times we really executed that well. And then I thought there were times that we didn't, and that'll be something we get to on the tape.
Coach Kerr just gave a couple minutes to praise Day for his performance tonight on Javon Bennett, then going 12 for 12 from the free throw line. Obviously, probably one of Day's best defensive games of his career. Just your thoughts on his performance and what the value he brings for this team.
I don't have words for the value because I would, if I try to talk about Day's value with a couple sentences, I won't do it justice. He's the heart and soul of our group, and I think you guys all know that. I thought he was terrific tonight. That was a fun matchup to watch those two go at it a little bit, and I thought he was terrific. He had he got beat middle one time and fouled there late, but outside of that, I thought he was terrific. And we weren't good on the free throw line. I think we were 1 for 8 between Baba and Moo. But Day stepping up and going 12 for 12, and Sincere going 6 for 8. I was really proud of that.
Wes, you want to talk about reasons you won. I think 2 big moments were right before halftime. Baba picks up, the technical, maybe things aren't going your way, some adversity there. And then they cut it to 48-46, second half. The way you guys responded to those 2 moments, how would you characterize your response as a team?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the positive question. I appreciate it. We'll do the negative stuff in our film tomorrow. But, there were some moments there because I thought we had played a really nice first half. But we kind of let them back into it there. We'll look at the tape on the technical and all that stuff. But that obviously hurts us, not just because it's a big swing in terms of the lead, but it also gets Baba from 1 to 3 pretty quick. And I thought that was a big momentum change. I thought we did a really nice job handling it. I think they cut it to 5 at one point there in the second half. We get it out of the net quick and advance it and score a basket right back on them. So that was one of the things we've been working on all preseason. No, I thought we handled the tough moments well tonight. You guys know this. That's a more important quality than anything else because you're going to have the tough moments in the type of games we're going to play, and we got to build on that.
Kind of going off of that, who did you see kind of step up and try to lead the group after so many discouraging moments because those things can snowball? But it seemed like they just kept on bouncing back from the adversity of all the turnovers and all the things that didn't go their way.
Yeah, I think they all were about the right things, and they were saying the right stuff in timeouts to each other. We talked a lot about next play before the game. We knew they'd play hard. I mean, again, there's a lot of respect for Dayton. So if I singled one guy out, it wouldn't be fair to all the other guys. But I thought we saw a lot of positive mindset and attitude tonight.
You said that sometimes these are the ones that feel the best. Why is that? Why are when you make some mistakes but still find a way to win? Why is it that those feel the best?
Yeah, I think because it's early and there's so much work to do for us to be the great team that I believe we can become. But the great teams win no matter what the circumstances are. They find ways. And so I think that quality, and I'm not saying we have it yet, but we're building it, that quality to find ways to win regardless of what the heck goes on out there, that's more important than any other thing we can talk about on the stat sheet. And the best teams that I've been around, coached, been a part of, they found ways to win no matter what the circumstances were. So to see, you can't break the press there for a while. There's a bunch of careless turnovers. They're making a couple runs based on your turnovers, and you find a way against a good team. Again, that's a really positive quality that we can build on, and that if we'll build on it and embrace it, it could serve us very well when we get to Big 12 play.
Coach, Dayton mentioned how important it was to get in the lockdown on Bennett tonight. He was
I think, it's natural that every player is going to think about what happens when the ball's in their hands, right? Do they shoot it? Do they pass it? Do they make the right decisions? The game, a lot of times, is evaluated that way, unfortunately. But most of the game is played without the basketball in your hands. And so when you have a young man like Day that's able to evaluate himself that way and value those things, I think you have leadership and you have somebody that values winning. I think we have other guys like that, but it's nice to hear him not just – he's going to be that way, but it's cool to hear Day starting to be able to verbalize those things.
Seems like there was a good deal of switching tonight.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, especially from your, small forward down. Is that something, as you develop, you think this team can grow into a strength that those guys can all move pretty well?
Are switching.
Are switching, yeah.
Yeah, because they were switching everything,
They switched everything.
which surprised me because they hadn't switched everything. Like you guys talk about game prep this time of year, it's got to be more about your team because, they played a zone out of bounds tonight. They haven't done that one time in the 4 competitions, the 2 exhibitions. They switched everything. They've done some late switching in their pick and roll, and they've selectively switched some stuff off the ball to this point. But the level to which they switched tonight was a little bit different. And that's what basketball is like early in the year. As far as us, I think we're going to have the ability to do quite a few different things defensively. We're still working on, we're still at ABC right now with our defense and with our offense. So to get to the next stuff, we still got to really improve at some of the very fundamental things of our half-court man-to-man defense. But I think we're going to be a team that can switch defenses. I think we're going to be a team that can scheme a little bit and start switching some stuff. But I don't think that's going to happen overnight. I think it's going to be a process.
Any more questions for Coach? Last one here. The big moment in this game is when
Obviously, Dayton makes the run. Tyler McKinley has that big segment there. Could you just reflect on what that was like for him? Obviously, he gets the jumper, gets the rebound, and finds Day for the 3. How big was that segment and the turning point in this game, and how cool is it to have Tyler kind of see that moment there come to fruition?
It's just so nice to have him playing. Again, it's felt like I met with Tyler the first summer that I was the coach here. I guess whatever the first day you were allowed to meet with the young prospect, at whatever age he was, that was the first summer I was here. So there's been a relationship with Tyler and his family since the moment I came to Cincinnati, and it's felt like forever till he can put a jersey on and play. So just having him out there has been great. You guys can see how special of a player he's going to become. And I thought he gave us great minutes tonight. I thought he had some moments, but I thought he was great in his pick and roll coverages, which was important, guarding Letang. I thought he gave great effort. And then, as you mentioned, some of the passing, you see the skill and the passing that he has in the front court, and you saw that during that stretch that you mentioned. Thanks.
Was that the game you expected? Tighter, or what did you expect?
We expected a good game. Both teams going to compete hard. Just we wanted to come out with a dub, so we just played together, played hard, and we came out with the dub.
Coach probably not happy with the turnovers, but how do you guys fight through that? How do you learn from it? Obviously, it's not the number that you guys wanted.
Yeah, a lot to clean up. Definitely can't be happy with the turnovers. 24, that's a lot. Yeah, we got 24 possessions, and we still won by how much we won? 14, 12? So there's definitely negatives, but try to look at it as a positive. Clean up a lot of stupid ones, including me in the end. So we just got to know time and score.
Kerr, what does that teach you about this group, that despite 24 turnovers, you guys can kind of rally together, fight through the adversity, and come out on top?
Yeah, I think we're a resilient group. Everybody takes winning seriously. Nobody puts their head down. Everybody trusts their work. And I think I actually want to share that story, which was very eye-opening to me, was 2 hours before our shoot-around today, I saw Dayton come to the locker room full sweat, working out. And I'm like, damn, you got to go for 30 today, right? And his first response was like, nah, I got to lock Javon Bennett down. Which was, I was like, oh, okay, my bad. Usually when I would say something like that, then the response would be, yeah, I got, I'll go for 30. So I think that just shows how nobody thinks about themselves here. You know, we got a really good group who just values winning so much and just make winning plays.
They do that good of a job against Bennett and then still score 20 points. But let's say just for the work that you've done and just to see your fruition come out on the court like that.
Just know that was one of my matchups for tonight. Just, just locking in, just got to defend the ball. I take pride into the defense. So I was just telling the guys, like, we got to guard the ball tonight. We got to guard it together, too. We got to rotate on defense, just, offense end. Just my teammates just finding me, and I'm being aggressive on the offense end, just getting paint touches, making plays.
Day-Day, obviously having that defensive matchup with Javon Bennett tonight. You've been a guy who's been proud to be that lead defender for Cincinnati in the past, but playing alongside Kerr since here. What made you want that matchup more? And like Kerr said, going through that workout earlier, what made you have that mindset?
I just know my gift is in defense. I take pride in that. So I just wanted to take the challenge on Bennett tonight. That's one of their leader scorers. So I just want to take pride and just, guard the ball tonight.
Kerr, you've seen a lot of hoops. What's different about Abayev? What's stood out so far from this freshman?
I think just his ability to really score. He can get his own shot anytime he wants, and I think he's done a good job kind of mixing his own game into what we're trying to do here. So, he keeps his head down. He works. Good game, bad game. He's always, consistent. So this is very impressive from a freshman.
In the back. Obviously, a ton of physicality from the Flyers. Was that something you expected coming into the game, or did you just have to adapt to that as the game went on?
I mean, we know they was aggressive. They big man's aggressive. The guard's aggressive. So, we just took on the challenge to compete with them. So.
Is this game a good test for the Big 12? It got a little intense out there. There were a lot of fouls. You don't seem to be a guy that backs down from much.
I think our whole team is that way. I think our whole team is wired that nobody backs down from anybody. But, look, Dayton is a good program. They're a very respected program. They're always in their league. They're top 2, 3, constantly making to March Madness. So we definitely, we're very locked in for the game. And that's a quad 1 or quad 2 win. So that's great.
Obviously, at the end of that first half, Kerr, there was emotions, and Baba got called for that technical. Dayton was making a run. Kind of a learning moment for you guys as a team to keep your composure when things get really intense. Day-Day also, if you want to chip in on that.
For sure, especially end of the halves. We want to be the team that ends halves really good. If it's a 6-point game, we want to, last media timeout, we want to put it up to 12, kind of go into half a little bit more comfortable. So, yeah, definitely good learning experience. And, Baba has been around also, a lot of years now. So, I'm not really tripping about that. He's smart enough. He knows what he did, and it wasn't even that serious. I thought we should have gotten some calls from that situation, too. But, that's just my eyes.
Day-Day, you held Javon Bennett to 12 points, as Kerr mentioned. But if you're honest, are you more impressed with that, or are you going 12 for 12 from the line? Most since, I think, 2012 for a Bearcat.
Nah, I'm just more locked in on locking Bennett up, just competing against him, just taking on the challenge I told my teammates I was going to do, just staying locked in, stay focused on defense. I don't really be caring about scoring. The ball going to find my ways. I just got to make shots.
Kerr, 8 assists for you tonight, 6 of those in the first half. Obviously, the biggest one of the game kind of came with the oop to Baba Miller in the second half. Break down that play. What did you see? Because when you threw that loop, it looked like no one really saw Baba behind him but you.
5 turnovers, too. I want to mention that. That's not very good. But, first half, I think I just tried to make that easy play over and over, and I think that's how we tried to really play. So, I just drove, and then I just lobbed it up. I'm not very good at, running through. When you ask me, run through the play, I don't know. I just, instincts take over, so I can't really explain the play.
Last two, Jason and Chad.
Kerr, you talk about, you just mentioned Day-Day as a teammate, but can you expand on that a little bit? There's a guy who's been here for a long time. There's been a lot of changes here. The roster turns over, obviously, but he's been one constant here. How important is he? Is it to have that guy, and what does he mean to this team?
Yeah, I mean, I played against Data now. I played against him 2 years ago. I knew he was a winner just the way he plays. And once I hit the portal, honestly, and when I started talking to Cincy, like I immediately hit up Data on Instagram. I don't know if you remember, and we had a conversation immediately. I wanted to go to the program where, obviously, there is a lot of turnarounds with rosters nowadays, but you want to have some kind of foundation. And I think if you have a winner like Data is, then you want to be part of that. He knows Coach West better than any of us. They have their own little connection, their own little side jokes that nobody even understands in practice and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, Data has been huge. I mean, Cincy fans should be, very thankful and grateful that he's here with us, and I am, certainly.
Chad, final question.
Day, the three that kind of spark things. Tyler McKinley catches a pass going towards the rim. Instead of forcing up a layup, he kicks it out to you for a wide-open three. Is that just symptomatic of how Tyler plays and the way that he helps the team when he's on the floor?
Yeah, Tyler, he always making plays. I mean, it's every day in practice. He got good IQ. He knows not to take a bad shot, so he just see me in an open view, so I just hit the open shot. So.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you. Shout out to my mom.